Number one for all the hits, it's Hot 106.7. You're on air with Eryn, joined with an individual who is responsible for every dance party I had in my basement as a 5-year-old.
Nice.
Thank you for being here, AJ.
Thank you for having me, and I feel old now, but it's okay. 5-year-old, I'm like, wow, oh my goodness, because I have a 5-year-old. So
yes.
I'm like putting that into perspective right now. But yes, thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. Of course, you are here for the Backstreet Boy show happening tomorrow for the DNA World Tour, but you have new music out of your own.
I do. I released my first single, Smoke. I think it's been almost 2 months now. Being on the road, you kind of lose track of time, days, dates. I couldn't even tell you what day of the week it is right now. We just came off of pretty much 5 in a row. We had to do a makeup show in Bristow, in Virginia. About a month and a half ago, we were hitting the worst weather. It kept following us, and then it finally caught up to us. And because of lightning and thunder, we had to, unfortunately, postpone the show. So we had to find a place to fit it, and we fit it in which was supposed to be a day off 2 days ago. So it was about 5 in a row. So, you know, it's a little harder to do nowadays, but yeah, so since I put out the first single, things have been going fantastic. Everyone's loving the song, and radio's been fantastic. And I just finished shooting the video for the second single, a song called Electric, which will be out in November, featuring Mr. Talkbox, Byron Chambers, who is a local here in Nashville. So I'm excited, and the full LP will be out top of next year. So.
Well, the Bristow show, Jiffy Lube Live, that's my hometown. I'm from Washington, D.C. Very familiar with that venue.
Yes.
So glad. I know all the D.C. folk were happy that you were able to make time.
Yes, everyone was really, really happy, and it was sold out. The entire tour's been sold out. You know, I was shocked because it was on Labor Day. Yeah. So, you know, everyone's usually with their friends or families, or they're traveling. But for people to, you know, show up and to spend Labor Day with us 5 was pretty incredible. So thank you to everybody out there in Bristow for showing up. Thanks.
Fantastic. So Smoke, we love the song.
Awesome.
We're about to play it on my segment tonight on my show called Hot or Not.
Oh, nice.
Where Nashville votes on it. I have a feeling it's going to be a unanimous hot. I mean,
fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
And what's so cool about it is that it's jazzy. It's so versatile with everything else you do with your sound. You've done country. You guys, which we'll get to this in a second, but you guys are putting out a Christmas album.
Finally, yes.
Finally. But the cool thing about the song I noticed is the message of loving and wanting an easy romance, right?
Yes. Yes. Just, you know, because look, everyone knows that no relationship is easy. And, you know, this was the final song that myself and this amazing team of writers wrote back in January, which was our first writing camp. We probably did about 5 or 6 songs in the first week. And this was the very last song that we did. And I sat with my producer, Killer B, and I said, listen, I want a song, production-wise, melodically, that is very Prince meets George Michael. And he nailed it as far as the production. And then working with these amazing writers, normally I do the choruses first before I go back to the verses. This one we did it backwards for whatever reason, and it worked. So we wrote the whole song, had no chorus. I was getting frustrated. It was about almost 1 a.m, didn't have a chorus, and I literally lit a cigarette, and I was sitting in the studio, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I don't know what's going to happen right now. We might have to finish this tomorrow. I said, I wish this was as easy as blowing smoke, but it's not. And then there's like, light bulb, and all of us in the room were like, that's the song.
There it is.
That's the title. I'm like, okay, write it down. Let me go cut it in the booth.
Write that down.
Yeah, and once we cut it, we just knew that we had something, and the song turned out better than I could have ever expected. And it's just a tip of the iceberg of what's to come off the album. And people will get to see tonight about 8 songs, almost 9 actually, that will actually be on the LP. So.
That is so exciting. That's right. Your show tonight at FGL House.
Yes. 8 o'clock at FGL House tonight. So bring your whole squad. Come on out. Free admission. It's going to be a fantastic night. And my buddy, Mr. Talkbox, will be also accompanying me tonight as well. So it'll be our first time getting to actually perform together. We've done songs together, but never done it live together. So it's going to be one heck of a night. So
Now, for Smoke, with getting to that point of like, oh, I wish this was easy as Smoke, and you being a proud girl dad and having a very happy life in that perspective, how, as one of the creators of some of the world's most iconic love songs, what advice would you give to people that are looking for those, intense roller coaster romances, what we're led to think that we need, but then in the end, I'm hearing you want something that's peaceful, right?
You know what? One of the best bits of advice that I was ever given is the only way around is through. So you kind of have to go through your ups and downs in whatever relationship you're in, whether it's a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, it could be siblings, it could be whatever it is, just or just BFFs. Mm-hmm. Again, every relationship is work. It doesn't need to be work, but it is work. And one other bit of advice that I got actually from one of my bandmates, he was saying to me once before, he's like, the best relationships are never 50-50. They are 100 and 100. Both sides have to give 100%. And I don't disagree. I think he hit the nail right on the head. Because I've done the 50-50 thing, and you're missing out. Mm-hmm. And you're not getting like that person's full entity. So I try to give my wife 110%, and she does the same for me. So, but again, I mean, look, love is out there for everybody. And like I said, relationships are work, but they should also be enjoyable and fun.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Wow, you heard it here first, folks.
On Dr. AJ today on yes.
Incredible. So speaking of your bandmates, you've said that the Backstreet Boys is your home, that is your home. But you also, I believe this is your first solo album in 12 years that you're getting ready to put out?
Yes. So back in 2009 is when I put out my debut solo record, Have It All, which was only released overseas. It was it never touched the light of day in the U.S. or Canada. Actually, it was only in the Pacific Rim, not even in Europe. And it was a great album, don't get me wrong, and I'm very, very proud of it. But if you listen to those songs compared to where I am today, it sounds like a Backstreet Boys record with just me singing. So it was very, very, very pop. This LP, I finally found my path. I finally found my calling. I truly feel like this is a perfect representation of who I am as a fan of all walks of life when it comes to music, from R&B, funk, jazz, contemporary, and then pop. I mean, pop is everything. So I can't wait for the show tonight. I just, people that haven't heard anything, I did one show in upstate New York, gave a little teaser to some songs, but tonight I think it's going to blow people's minds because fans have been waiting for me to do something just like this. And I think I nailed it. I hope I did. So we'll see.
I don't think you could have sold that any better. I am literally on the edge of my seat. That is so exciting.
Trying. Yes.
Is there something about being in the Backstreet Boys, being in a group that helps you find your independence when it comes to your own sound, having those contrasting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the early days, it was kind of, who am I amongst a group? Because you do tend to kind of lose your identity because you are trying to be a team player as well as being a individual. We are 5 solo artists that are now a 5-piece group. But the upside to it is that there is so many different genres of music that all 5 of us listen to, that we've all inspired each other to listen to. Like, I would have never necessarily listened to Nirvana or Biggie Smalls back in the day, but that's all Nick played religiously on the bus 24/7. And I became a fan of Biggie Smalls, Nirvana, the grunge movement, and then really got into, like hip-hop then. Mm-hmm. Now I'm loving like the old school hip hop, and I'm a fan of all different types of music. I grew up listening to a lot of Southern rock. My mom influenced me with like Black Sabbath, Leonard Skinner, Zeppelin, Three Dog Night, CCR, and then once I found Michael Jackson on my own, and then I found Stevie Wonder, and then I found Prince, and then I found Bowie, I was off to the races. Like that's my core 4 right there.
Speaking my language, I have a whole record wall in my bedroom. There's 30 records above my bed, and everyone you just named, I have their records.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Nice.
So speaking of the inspirations that your bandmates have brought you, I discovered something that I would like to play a few seconds for you. And I would love to hear.
Okay, all right.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
I love the surprises.
This is an unreleased version of I Want It That Way.
Ah, I know where you're going.
Yours completely. I feel so deeply. You're my first thought every day.
No goodbyes.
Yes.
No more lies.
Yes.
I love it when I hear you say, I want it. Yeah. So
What is the story with that?
So when we recorded the version that everyone knows,
Yeah.
the label was like, okay, the song makes absolutely no sense. They're not wrong, because it doesn't make any sense. So the label went back to, I believe, and gosh, I hope I'm right with this, but I believe it was Mutt Lange that they went back to help rewrite the lyrics to make it that version. And it just never felt right. Okay. And we pushed back with the label as much as we could. Mm-hmm. And clearly we made the right decision. Yes. Thank God. But yeah, there's the Tell Me Why version that everyone knows. And there was the No More Lies, No Goodbyes version. And yeah, I mean, obviously the version that makes no sense is up to self-interpretation.
Sure.
I want it that way. What way do you want? I don't know. It's whatever you want. But yes, that's funny. Once you said that, I was like, I got a feeling I know where she's going with this because, yeah. Somehow it ended up on the World Wide Web. But
somehow.
yeah.
Doesn't it always?
Yeah.
The inside scoop right here.
Oh, yeah.
The hidden version.
We've been talking about putting out a, like, anthology album of just all the unreleased songs we've ever cut. And like 95% of them are on YouTube already. So it's like, oh man, it's like, come on, you know? So maybe it was my fault leaving a CD in a hotel room somewhere.
Oh no.
Or, you know, sometimes the engineers in some of the studios might be like, here's my hard drive. Watch this. You know, so, but fans I think would still love it if it was in
absolutely
tangible form. And we're coming up on our 30th anniversary next year. So we have talked about doing a massive box set. We're trying to get what we call the Red Album, which is our very, very first album we ever did. It was never released in the States, only in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. We're trying to get that album finally released in the States as part of a box set. And then also, you know, trying to put out a bunch of unreleased stuff. So we'll see.
30 years, you took the words right out of my mouth. As soon as I realized that, because I was thinking about last night again, dance parties when I was 5 years old, I was like, AJ has been doing this for 30 years. What hasn't he been asked? So, AJ, what have you not been asked in an interview that you would like to talk about?
Wow. It's funny because there was a few fans at the last couple of shows that were in our meet and greet that had shirts made that said my name, and then it said the OG Backstreet Boy. And I think it's interesting that not a lot of people know that I am the OG. I met Lou in 1992. So, and the name of the band was already Backstreet Boys. That was already done. So, essentially, it's been 30 years for me already. Next year will be 31 years. So, I helped kind of put the group together. I even choreographed some of the other guys' auditions that didn't come prepared with like a dance number. Howie didn't need it. He had his whole little dance routine set up, which was hilarious. Sorry, Howie, I love you, bro, but you know, again, this was the 90s, so just put that into perspective. Put that in, you know, like the Roger Rabbit and all that kind of stuff. That's what Howie was doing. But like Nick came and sang, but didn't have any choreography, so I choreographed a little two count of 8. You know, it wasn't anything over the top, but it was, yeah. So for me, I think it's interesting that I am the OG member. So not a lot of people know that, I think. So, you know.
Wow.
Questions to be asked, though? I mean, I pretty much have been asked, I think, everything. I mean, really, I mean, I don't remember, but somebody asked us recently something in an interview, and all 5 of us were stumped.
Oh, wow.
Because we had never been asked this question, and it's kind of fallen out of my head now, but it was something about touring, and I don't recall what it was, but it definitely kind of floored us because we're like, whoa, we actually have to think about this one. Like, we've never been asked this before. So we have been asked pretty much everything. Boxers or briefs, you know, all of the above.
Well, thankfully, you could have given the best response ever. That is such an awesome nugget, and we have so much to thank you for being the OG and helping everybody with their dances.
I think it was all obviously fate and destiny, because there was a different incantation of Backstreet Boys before Kevin and Brian joined the group.
Sure.
Myself, Howie, and Nick were the original 3, and the other 2 did not work out. Kevin joined the group shortly after, and we were still 4, didn't have anybody. He kept talking about I got this cousin who's in Kentucky, and literally called Brian in the middle of a school day, his, I think, junior year, called him out of class to the principal's office, and Brian thought, oh, crap, what did I do? And he gets on the phone, and he's like, what's up, cuz? And he's like, dude, why are you calling me out of class? What's going on? Did somebody die? He's like, no, I'm in this group. You want to come down to Florida and be in this group with me? And he's like, okay. And that was April 19th. April 20th of 1993 was when the group was officially formed. So that is our anniversary. Ironically, 420. I keep saying, you know what? I never realized it until two years ago, right before the pandemic hit. For whatever reason, I was sitting there and I was posting and I was saying happy anniversary to all my boys. And I'm like, well, look at that. It's 420. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
History with AJ McLean.
Yeah, you know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, it has been such an honor to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So exciting. It is incredible that you are such a trailblazer for pop music. You do your own thing. You're going to do 2 shows while you're here. You just do it all.
I live to do what I do, and the reciprocation that we get from our fans is just overwhelming. It's been something that continues to drive us to this day. We do have the best fans in the entire world, and you know we're the only group like us that has never stopped. And like I say in our show, we will never stop. So it is awesome that I have the support of my bandmates to move on and do my own thing, as well as I would support them. And Backstreet will always continue. So it's the best of both worlds. I'm blessed. So thank you.